Hi, Kirk.
Good morning.
Thanks for connecting with me today. Um, you know, I have my own experience and background in organizational development, executive coaching, leadership teaching uh, for a couple of decades, working in that realm. In the past couple of years, I've shifted more of my focus to working through the Bowen Center for the Study of Family in Washington, D.C., where I'm director of the postgraduate program. And I know you in your own continuing studies of theory have chosen to undertake a kind of a research or a study project in your own learning path. And so I just thought it'd be good to hear a little more about that. And just perhaps, I don't know, I think a good place to start might be how would you define the purpose of the study, or, what is it you're trying to get at or learn here?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. In the next year of the postgraduate program, so the third year coming up in September, I'm planning on doing a research study that will explore what impact integrating family systems coaching has within executive coaching. So when a leader looks at how they function within their family, does that make a difference in how they function in the workplace?
That's very interesting. How would you describe the basic structure that you're setting up for your study?
So I'm looking for participants that are interested in doing executive coaching. It'll start in September, it'll run for 10 months. And in the first 5 months of the study, the executive will be exploring issues exclusively within the workplace. And then there will be a transition from work system functioning into family functioning for the last 5 months of the research project.
So you're kind of comparing coaching without the family work to the effectiveness of coaching that includes the family work, as I'm getting that.
Yeah, that's the idea.
So how are you going to make that comparison? What kind of data would you collect to look at that?
Well, there will be data from the research participant themselves, and I'm specifically looking to work with CAOs in Saskatchewan municipalities. And so at the front end of the study, the CAO will do a self-report on a tool that's been validated within the Bowen network. And the research participant will also extend a survey to important people within their family network and to their elected officials, their councils, and any direct reports that they have. And then I will compare that data from those reports at the beginning of the study, and then at the midpoint of the study, and then at the end of the study, to see what happens along the way through the research.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. So you mentioned elected councils. It's my understanding that you've chosen to focus on CAOs for your study.
Yeah, that's correct.
What prompted you to focus on CAOs?
Well, this is a quantitative research design methodology, which really means I'm looking for numbers. And in order to evaluate how well an executive is performing, I think that the governance structure within municipalities lends itself well to this type of research, because typically there's going to be 5 to 7 elected officials, depending on the size of the community. And so that's going to give me a real broad idea and more confidence that the report on how the executive is functioning is accurate.
Okay, good. What would you say is going to be required of those involved in your study?
Well, one is time. And so the CAOs are going to need to invest an hour of their time on a monthly basis. And I'm really looking for participants that are interested in taking a close look at how they're functioning, both within their workplace and within their family system, and who are highly motivated to make changes. And I think under this research project methodology, there's an opportunity for CAOs to do that at no cost.
Okay, good. I'm imagining that in the course of the coaching, particularly when it gets to the phase where you're looking at the family side as well, that people are going to need to be forthcoming, honest, open with you. You know, how are you going to safeguard the confidentiality of the information for those folks?
So I would approach these executive coaching sessions very similarly to my practice through Think Leadership, where anything that clients say to me is held within strict confidence. That comes with a couple of caveats. You know, if I feel that anyone is in danger of harming self or others, that I've got an obligation to say something. And so I think that's one part of it, is the confidentiality that one could expect within executive coaching services. Another piece is through this research program, I will be writing up the results of this research into a paper, and that will be done in a way to protect the identity of the participants. If names are used, pseudonym names would be used to protect their identity. And for the participants, for the family system that we're asking to provide data on, and for the elected officials, folks in the workplace, those surveys are going to be conducted anonymously.
Got it. Okay. So it's sort of like, you know, scrubbing your paper, similar to how one might do with protected health information, taking out all identifying data. Am I getting that?
Yeah, that's correct. And with this being a quantitative case study design, I'm really focused on those numbers through those research tools, whereas a more of a qualitative research design might have a lot more information where, you know, if somebody knew the executive well and was looking at the answers contained within that study, could connect the dots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear you. You know, I heard you talk about the access to the coaching that would be at no charge to the participants. But what else would you say is in it for them? You know, I mean, I'm thinking, like, if I'm going to invest my time in this, what am I going to get out of it? How is it going to benefit me in some way? Do you have any thought on that?
Yeah, well, I think that anyone who participates within this research study is going to have an opportunity to explore how they're functioning within the family, within the workplace system, and have an opportunity to think about those challenges within executive coaching that's grounded in Bowen family systems theory. And that has the potential for them to make real shifts in their functioning and experience less stress and tension in navigating those challenges.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. That sounds really interesting. Are there, well, how many folks are you going to include in your study?
So I am going to be including 3 research participants in this study, and I'm going to be reaching out to CAOs both on the urban side and the rural side in Saskatchewan, and the participants will be selected randomly.
Okay. And so with 3 participants, you know, what if a higher number of motivated people come forth? You know, are there any opportunities for them outside of the study? Any thought on that?
Yeah, so anyone who isn't selected for the study I'll be providing them with contact information for the Bowen Network. The Bowen Center provides a number of opportunities for self-learning. And Stan, I'm sure that you could connect them with a Bowen trained coach if they were motivated and interested in doing that type of work.
Okay, good. What would be the next step, for those who want to get involved? How would they go about that?
Yeah, so there's going to be a brief application that the participant will submit to me via email at kirk@thinc90.com. And along with that, one thing to note, it's very important that the research participants have the approval and the commitment from their councils. And so I will require a resolution from their council that authorizes them to participate in this research.
Okay, good. Is there anything else you think people should know going into this? I mean, any last comments you want to make before we conclude this interview?
Yeah, I think I'm just really interested in working with some motivated folks to explore this question. Does looking at how you function in your family make a difference on how you function in the workplace? And I think not only will participants be helping themselves, they'll be helping to further the research in this area, because there is a gap in the literature. This type of research hasn't been done before.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I have had a difficult time finding research specifically on the influence of Bowen theory on leadership functioning. So for one, we'll be looking forward to reading your paper at the conclusion of your study. And
Well,
I want to thank you for connecting with me here, and I wish you the best with the study.
well, thanks. It's been my pleasure.
Okay, thank you, Kirk.
Thanks.